Good afternoon, my friends. DRBMiller here. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all at home, staying indoors. Hope you're all safe and well. Joining our gaming community online, really. As we said many times during the last month, we want everybody to be staying at home in order to protect the NHS, in order to save lives. By staying at home, you are becoming a hero because you are, first of all, protecting your own life. You're battling the spread of disease. You're not allowing this ghastly deadly virus to be spreading. You're protecting your loved ones, and you're doing a great deal of service to everyone on the entire planet. Who on earth could imagine that each one of us could become such a hero in these very testing times? But remember, you have got to do this as long as it takes. We just had, I had from the NHS some very grim statistics. We had more than 840 people dying since last night, during the last 24 hours, which brings the overall number to the level of almost 15,000 lost lives in the United Kingdom, our beloved country. Almost 15,000 people. It's 14,000, I think, 700 or so. Of our own people who had perished due to this absolutely dreadful disease, which had been spreading around the country, around Europe, around the world, as you could see already, for a number of weeks, and in some areas of the world for a number of months. We are doing everything we can, inclusive of our scientific community, the government representatives, the local authorities, all of us involved in the battle against this deadly virus. We are going to be winning this battle and this war in the end, but we are not there yet. There is a lot more work to be done, and the scientists told us that every day we are learning a lot more about the virus. For instance, if we were to recap on what we know today compared to, let's say, our Good Friday a week ago, we are a lot more knowledgeable. We are learning every single second of every single day. So everyone needs to be very understanding, very patient and obedient, and everyone needs to be simply staying at home at all times. I have seen people socializing on street corners outside of their lodgings, and I would like to say to everyone, please do not do that. The fact that this person is your next door neighbor does not mean they're immune or that they're not the carrier. You have got to be in a quarantine. You have got to be indoors. You have to do some exercises, you've got to do some activity, but you don't have to be really going out for doing this. You can do this at home. You can do standing exercises, the military style drill. You can do yoga, you can do stretches, you can do all sorts. If anybody is a bit mesmerized by different ways to which one can do this, just go to YouTube and enter exercises at home, or standing exercises, or yoga, or any other that you really want to be practicing at these very testing times, and you will get videos of people who are telling you exactly what to do. Many of those are professionals, people who are doing this for a living, and you just basically switch it on your TV set or handheld device, watch it and repeat, and you will be more than satisfied. You will have more than 45 minutes of exercises, which will do plenty of good for your immune system, your physical health and everything else. And that's exactly what I've been doing already for the 42nd day running. Can you imagine 42 days in quarantine? I've not seen sunlight or daylight for 42 days. It is really, really tricky. Even those people who spend their time in prison in solitary confinement, they will be allowed to be seeing some sunshine because of vitamin D and obviously the basics of their well-being. But it is also down to our mindset. We have got to be accepting the fact that this is the only way, as long as it takes. And you will know that people who are surviving war conditions with grenades falling everywhere and airstrikes, people in countries like Afghanistan, Syria and Iraq, or any other country in fact where wars were fought, they'll tell you just keeping your clear mind and being absolutely on the level with the situation, being completely rational and totally unemotional. I want to stress this. This is very important. People are dying in very large numbers. We can all get overwhelmed by huge emotion, but this is not the time. This is not the time to be very emotional. We have got to keep a level-headed mind in order to get through this, and we've got to be staying indoors and in places of safety. So like for instance, persons surviving a massive airstrike or massive bombardment, they've got to be in their nuclear shelter 24/7 for months if necessary. They will just be waiting for supplies to be brought to them with some water and basic food, amenities, and whatever is necessary for them to survive. And that is exactly what we need to be doing at the moment. If we really want to be taking the upper hand, if you really want to make sure that the virus is absolutely not spreading, because the scientific research from the US and also from some of the leading world institutes indicates that this virus is what they call a hit and run virus. And what this means is the virus is always looking for a quick host. So the virus has got to be jumping from one person to another in order to survive in a longer term, like any other living organism. So if we are basically preventing the air and water for this terrible, deadly entity, then obviously the virus will not have the capacity to survive for very long. By that I mean over a period of months or weeks, in fact. And therefore, by keeping ourselves indoors, we are preventing the transmission, and by doing so, we are preventing that virus from actually living. Indeed, if the virus had been lodged in somebody's body, then the person will be suffering consequences and having all sorts of symptoms. As we've seen, the symptoms are very, very different from person to person. And sadly, we had established in the UK that more than half of the victims were men. So, it seemed that it is I actually said it wrongly. We've seen through the epidemics that a double number of the victims will come under the gender male, and it is being currently looked at and researched as why this is. It's not known as yet. So we have twice as many men dying from the disease compared to women, and that's a very, very important find. The other is the stats from last month indicate that 91% of those people who sadly died did have some other health condition, which indeed was then not helping their body in their fight for survival. And that is also a very, very important find. There were people without any existing conditions, regrettably, and they also sadly perished. It's quite a large number of people that have been affected and tragically passed away, and we are all kind of grappling with the stats and looking at ins and outs of all that is happening. It is all a learning experience as we are indeed progressing forward, and every day we learn something new. And the sad fact of life is that sometimes the epidemiology right from the beginning of the pandemic may not be exactly the same compared to what's happening in the middle of it or towards the end. And that's because obviously that dreadful, deadly virus does have its own life cycle, and it will be developing and progressing in a way which at this stage is quite unpredictable. So we are certainly hoping that our scientists and our medical community will be able to come up with some solution in order to apply it to this dreadful disease. As I said, our country is suffering dreadfully, and we are quite concerned that perhaps our death toll will be one of the highest in Europe very shortly. We are hoping that this is not going to happen, but we have to be embraced for the worst, and that itself is a devastating awareness, and we are all living with that. So really, once again, I want to ask everybody, in order to help us to stay at home. First of all, stay at home at all times. Do not go out unless absolutely necessary, and stay indoors and do not socialize. If you are talking to your friends or anybody else, use your online platforms. Hook up on Zoom or Skype or WhatsApp or any other which you have, and that is the only way to do it. Do not visit your elderly relatives, do not go and visit your family or friends, do not socialize in local parks, because that is not going to be helping. Stay at home, save lives, protect the NHS, protect your own health service in your own country by making sure that you are not spreading the virus, that you're not allowing the virus to basically jump on you and indeed to get transmitted to somebody else. And that is the best way forward. So we'll go back to our hashtags. If you are a Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, or any other platform user, use these hashtags at all times. These are hashtags that tell you hashtag stay at home UK, hashtag stay indoors UK, hashtag be a hero. So by staying at home, staying indoors, you are protecting your own life, you're protecting the lives of your loved ones, you're protecting the lives of your neighbors, of your local community, you're helping the world through what we see is a fight against this deadly disease. You're preventing the spread of the virus, you're not allowing the virus to come to your immediate vicinity, and therefore you are a hero. So remember, you are a hero by doing this. You are going to be rewarded by a good health, which you will obviously have as a result. And also, if you want to be a hero here with us through our gaming communities online, you can obviously hop in, do multiplayer, become Marcus Phoenix, Jill Valentine, Master Chief, or any other hero whom you witness here in our wonderful online games. So that is the way forward. So remember, you've got to do that as long as it takes. In the United Kingdom, we are facing a lockdown which probably will be lasting for a long while. The next 3 weeks is going to be this strict lockdown, and unless the stats and the epidemiology tells us otherwise, we'll continue having a strict lockdown being imposed for as long as we need to be protecting people's lives. And I want to say to everyone, don't write silly messages on Twitter and Facebook asking for the lockdown to be lifted, because you yourself might be the victim. You may get the virus and you will not be able to fight it easily before we had found either vaccine or medicine, which will be obviously helping everyone on the global scale. So we've got to be buying time before we discover the medicine that will successfully treat this absolutely ghastly, deadly disease. Right, coming back to our online activities and our gaming. I've been looking at some of the interesting news that were coming to my desk, and for all of us Destiny veterans and our Destiny community, we have some wonderful news. Bungie are introducing a new tournament which will be attached to each character in Destiny 2. The tournament will be starting through Able event on Tuesday of next week, so that's in about, let me count, 4 days. So it's on the 21st of April. Do you guys know what this is going to be about? What Destiny Guardians Championship is about? Well, if not, I will tell you. I got some news today from, received some news from Bungie. So what they say is, this week we are going to be gearing up for Rivalry. So we announced earlier today that Guardian Games is fast on approach. It is commencing on the April the 21st at 10 AM PDT, which is Pacific time, and the games will then begin. So Titans, Hunters and Warlocks will compete to prove which class is the most dedicated in Destiny 2. There's a very nice trailer for that as well, with Ava Levant telling us what, well, she's not really telling us what it's about, but you know, there's a bit of a taster. And your entry into the competition begins with Ava. Each Guardian will receive a class item to adorn while taking part in competition. So you'll be allocated a class and you'll be getting bronze, silver and gold medals, and you will be able to earn these on the daily basis, so like a daily task. And each of those will be focusing on specific game modes. So to earn medals, equip your new class item. So you have a new item for your class. Then you defeat enemies, pick up laurels on the battlefield, and then advance your quest for the medals you desire. So it's going to be very interesting, quite different to everything we've had so far, and I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work, to be honest with you. I know we are going to be doing this, but are we then doing PvP, or are we doing PvE, or what's the score? So we'll actually find out. So they said, we fully acknowledge that class populations are a little lopsided. Hunters are so fabulous with their capes that there are indeed more of them than Warlocks or Titans. To help offset this, so Hunters do not steal the show every day, we are hoping. Medals will be weighed slightly per class to maintain an even playing field. So we are not fiddling with the numbers to force wins on any sort of alternate classes, but Hunters could still take this entire thing if they put enough effort in it. Well, we know that because Hunters have been very popular in both games, and there are certain abilities that are very useful in close quarter combat and if you're doing tactically, and when combined with, for instance, Nova Bomb of Warlocks, you will have this tether that hunters are having, and tethers are very, very useful for any form of group multiplayer activities. Therefore, I think they are having some degree of advantage. So let's have a look at the class items. A daily reset, you will have cloak, mark or bond, and that will update to reflect what placement your team has taken. As an example, if Titans took the W for the day 1, the mark will update with a wonderful gold sigil. And with Warlocks in the 2nd and Hunters in the 3rd, the class items will be updated to feature silver and bronze respectively. So we have some images there on Bungie's homepage. If you are curious, you'll be able to see. And the cloaks are looking really wonderful, as expected, beautifully designed, and each one of those are, looking really very, very exciting and eye-catching, and they feel really rewarding, once they are obviously in your inventory. So what is going to be the ultimate prize, you wonder? Well, at the end of the event, your daily placement will be combined for a final score. Depending on your team standing, your class items will be locked to their respective placements for the remainder of the year. Okay, so you will keep them for the rest of the year. If you're looking for more ways to represent your class, Ava has you covered. Each week you'll be offered a free quest to earn an exotic ghost shell, one themed to each Guardian class. Well, that's a bit... because the ghosts in Destiny 2 are not as useful really compared to Destiny 1, I have to confess. They have really a very nice sort of cosmetic aspect, but purely in terms of their applicability to multiplayer, not really that great. So you'll be offered a free quest to earn an exotic ghost shell, one theme to each Guardian class. Complete this quest every week to collect all 3. It'll be obviously 3, 1 per class. Just double checking on this statement. Depending on your team standings, your class items will be locked to their respective placements for the remainder of the year. Additionally, a new exotic machine gun will become available during this event. So look forward to seeing what mayhem this tool of destruction will inspire when you get it in your hands. Eververse will also have some items in store for the event. A single finisher will be available for silver only, while all other items may be purchased with bright dust as they appear on the storefront. As a note, all Guardian games weekly repeatable bounties will grant bright dust to match previous seasonal events. Guardian games begins upon the weekly reset, so it's this Tuesday coming, so 10 o'clock Pacific. So I'm trying to work out what this is in the UK. Sometime in the afternoon. Make sure to launch your game a little early to grab the required update 281. Well, I really disagree with this. You really have got to access the game already a couple of days earlier, because the update, maybe a day before, will take a long while, and I know that on my PlayStation it takes forever. On the Xbox was much faster, but definitely worth double checking the game 48 hours beforehand if the update is already easily accessible. I don't really recommend doing it on the day, because you may lose several hours before you are indeed able to access the gameplay, and that causes lots of hiccups. I had some problems in the past where, for instance, Bungie didn't introduce the update, and it was just out of the blue, and therefore you're about to do a stream which is strictly timed, let's say 10 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You have to wait for 3 hours or 2 hours. It's just, depending on the update, obviously. Some updates are not as massive, but there have been the updates of 100 gigs, and they would take like 3 or 4, 6 hours to download. So really not really that great. Okay, Guardian's Heart update. Let me see. We have also several activities there which are coming from Bungie in respect of the state of our local communities, and obviously they're all working hard on defeating this dreadful pandemic. And we have Guardian's Heart charity initiative, and the initiative generated over $450,000 for relief efforts in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. So that's really absolutely wonderful. It's charitable, and they're asking for $20 donation for anyone who is prepared to do that, who's in position to donate funds, and then they'll be getting the exclusive Guardian's Heart emblem, which is going to be yours forever, and it will be very, very proudly displayed, on your character. And I think it's very, very noble that they're doing this. Most highly recommend the activity to everyone, because don't forget, if you are contributing and you're investing some of your revenue, you are going to be helping the global effort through which we are fighting this dreadful, dreadful disease in all ways imaginable. And we've had, for instance, yesterday a 99 years old gentleman from south of England who started a kind of a charity raising event by walking 100 laps in his back garden. He's nearly 100 years old, and he started like a family joke, and it turned out to be well promoted on the internet and through the news, and he already reached more than 15 million pounds, and he was just absolutely staggered. He couldn't believe that 15 million pounds were donated, and all of those revenues are going to be going directly to the NHS, the National Health Service of United Kingdom. And it is absolutely remarkable that people contributed to such degree. And the gentleman, who is almost 100 years old, survived the Second World War. He served as a captain. He survived Dunkirk. He served in Burma and in India and Singapore. And honestly, he had seen some of the greatest suffering that the planet had experienced in the 20th century. And to do something like that, when you're 99 years old, to be doing 100 laps, to generate funds for the NHS is, absolutely, truly, remarkably inspirational to every single human being on the planet. If you have a chance, access the video which is on YouTube. You will see what he did, how he raised the revenue, and how much greatly he's loved and appreciated by every single soul in our country. Alright, the time's come for us to go back to what we're supposed to be doing here, and that is our Gears world. And our Gears world has been indeed very, very active. I've been playing Gears of War now for about a week, I think, 5-6 days or so. And the experience so far has been very, very rewarding. The game's very good. We are playing the campaign as Kate, the main character, discovering bits of the story, collecting many of those things which are to be found in various hidden spots around the various territories, and enjoying the firefights. I have to say that the game is very evenly construed, because you have some sections with lots of fierce firefights and some really difficult enemies. We had the matriarch yesterday that I was trying to defeat, and it did take me a couple of hours to become successful. You really are in position, we need to work out a strategy which is best applied in order to defeat some of the bosses, and some of them are very difficult. And that's, I guess, significantly different to some of the older games. Mind you, in the original game, Gears of War 1, there were some monsters, I remember, like the one who was blind running amok, who was very, very hard to defeat, because you had to be getting to certain areas, then hiding, and then avoiding him because he could smell you, he couldn't see you, and there were other issues in there. But I'm loving the game so far, and I've not gone down the multiplayer yet. Multiplayer here with PvP is significantly different, because you are having very tight death matches in there, and you really have got to be quite experienced, very fast, and on very fast internet, and you need to know what you're doing, so to speak. So we'll do the PvP here at some point in order to promote it, rather than to do anything sensible in terms of competing or getting scores. But what's quite rewarding about the PvP is it does have lots of achievements. So even if you're attempting to do it, if you're trying it, you will get lots of achievements, and that feels really, really good. And they introduced last week a whole selection of new maps and new characters, and therefore the game was available free of charge throughout the entire Easter weekend. And anyone who's on Xbox Game Pass can be, like myself, accessing it through its Ultimate Edition, which is really, really, really good. It's done for 4K, and it has everything as it should, really, on the top level. And there are some extra maps and activities and skins and customizable types of elements in the Ultimate Edition. I think lots of those are applicable to the PvP, and for many people were subscribing to Xbox Game Pass in order to access it. But I recommend the service to everyone, because the way the industry is progressing is absolutely down the digital, non-physical product route. and also it's all about instant access. So I'm testing Project X Cloud at the moment through Microsoft. I'm one of the testers, and I've been given the opportunity to do this very early. Presently, we are not doing proper tests yet. We are just literally looking at the kind of streaming speeds and the streaming quality. So it's a bit like a preview, and there is a small selection of Xbox Game Pass games which are then accessible through the platform, which is Project X Cloud, and it's really very, very good. You will need to have your Bluetooth enabled Xbox controller, and I have to say the vast majority of the controllers are not. So just a latest generation controller that's been in circulation for less than 3 years. So if you don't have it, you'll have to buy it, because it will be literally a your kind of a true dual possession as we progress down that route, as you will be able to access the entire information that otherwise you'd have in your console through xCloud. Meaning you can be in Copacabana or in Moscow or in London or Milan or Rome or Athens or I don't know, sunning yourself in Bali. You pull out your tablet or your laptop, and you can simply then access everything that is on your console. All of that is backed up on the cloud, the xCloud, and you need your controller to play the game and do whatever you want to do. Whatever you have your console will be on xCloud. We are not there yet with tests, but that will start at some point in the autumn, and that's probably going to be September, October, depending on the date when they are likely to release the product. In view of the pandemic, it is likely that we'll face very serious delays with all of these novelties, and therefore we have to be prepared. But cut long story short, that is the way forward. It's all about streaming, it's about instant access, it's about being able to purchase the games within seconds and also access them straight away without any major downloads or hurdles. And I just like to ask all of our friends in the gaming community to subscribe to PlayStation Now and also to Xbox Game Pass, because these are the services that are very kind of closely aligned to what will happen in the future. Hence, on a subscription fee, the total of roughly £20, you will be getting more than 1,000 games which are instantly accessible, and both services combined give you quite a variety. Xbox does have many blockbusters. The only thing is that they rotate them quite a bit, so some games come and go, and the idea is that you really kind of love the game, you save your data obviously on Xbox Cloud, and then it sort of pushes you towards buying the game before it disappears if you really love it. And they observe that sales of certain games have massively accelerated since they introduced the service, and also you can download all the games, which means the quality of your gameplay is going to be always top notch, identical compared to if you purchase the game straight away. So it is a very, very good service to which you can first of all try the games, and you will agree that the modern state-of-the-art games do have a very lengthy shelf life with replayability. Even if you're talking about adventure games that have linear storytelling, you're still getting that excitement when you're replaying the game. For instance, I'm doing Gears of War 5. It's a linear storytelling with Kate. There are lots of different bits and pieces to remember. So I know already that I'm looking forward to my second entry, and maybe the second entry will have also a mate together with me. We'll do it in co-op, and we'll fight the enemies together, so it'll be a different perspective on the gameplay. We'll probably race to some of the areas and play it on the hardcore or insane difficulty level, just to make it a bit sort of spiced up for ourselves. And in addition to that, what we'll do is we'll try to pick up the rest of the collectibles, because some of those are very well hidden, and I've got to say I really have looked for every one of them, and I'm not doing even 50%. So there's always something to do, and that's the beauty of it. So if you are doing it for the first time, you're doing it on Xbox Game Pass, and let's say the game is being kind of discontinued, you can always purchase it, and you probably will have a very good price before the game is taken off, which means 65% off. And if it's your favorite, keep it in your online library. I have so many games now, honestly. I had many games which were on DVDs and Blu-rays, but ever since I converted to fully digital, the games are coming from everywhere. And also the fact is, the games have become very, very cheap if you are not buying the brand new ones, or indeed the biggest blockbusters. I really picked up some wonderful adventure games recently through Xbox sales, and really look forward to playing them and stream them here. I can give you a list, and there's Dreamfall Chronicles on Xbox, then there is Veronica, there's Annie, there is quite a selection. There's a couple of film noir type of games that I've got on my buy later list, and also what we'll do, I forgot to tell you, is we'll combine Anthem with our Destiny and Mass Effect streams. At the moment I'm giving a variety to my broadcasts, but we are going to be streamlined during kind of Monday to Friday on the main games, and presently, because of the Easter weekend and also the fact that many of the developers are providing many tasters and free services, knowing that there's so many people at home worldwide as everyone is grounded, it's been a very challenging, very kind of versatile number of weeks where I in fact play quite a few games, and it's been quite different to what I usually do, because I prefer to play like one game and go through it. Obviously Destiny, Elder Scrolls, The Division, these are not the games which you can finish. You can play them indefinitely, but for the conventional campaign based games, you are wanting to start with prologue and with epilogue, and that's just the way it is with me, and I like that degree of continuity. So as I said, I'm actually quite curious about Anthem. I've talked to some of our Destiny veterans, 2 of them in the US, and they said they played Anthem quite a bit initially, but then they got a bit fed up. They thought it was not providing enough content, and I've heard from other people who were experiencing some issues on PlayStation and Xbox that the issues were resolved. So on the technical front, they didn't have any more rubber banding or crashes or any other issues. They said that one of the areas of concern has been infinite loading. Well, I shouldn't say infinite, lengthy loading, and I think that is still going to be persisting there, as I believe it's based on the game engine. That's at least what I understood from all that's been conveyed through their senior management. But they've introduced some Cataclysm events, they introduced some other activities, and none of that was to be bought because of the issues that the game's been experiencing. And I have Legion of Dawn edition on both Xbox and PlayStation, so I think we'll start with a nice Xbox Legion of Dawn presentation, and we'll do it step by step, and I think probably it will be working quite well in sync with Mass Effect, because it does have the aura of Mass Effect. I think if you're a BioWare gamer, you'll recognize the BioWare world straight away as you walk in, and it's just that I really have to say, when I was doing it initially, and we're doing beta tests, and then we have the VIP demos and open demos and all that, the problem was with the dialogue. Anyone who played other BioWare games will tell you have so many different questions to ask, there's so much dialogue. It's really kind of very, very diverse, versatile, high quality storytelling. It's a bit like coming into Anderson's or Grim Tales, which are just expanding with many more characters and many more situations, and that's really been the backbone of those games. And you kind of, like Mass Effect, if you don't like storytelling, you can hit it with brief answers and then you can just do the action, but you'll miss out on a serious quantity of content if you do so. If you ask all questions, you talk to everyone, you'll get a lot of other content, side missions and characters, which make the game even more enjoyable. So the replayability is always there. The first thing you notice about Anthem is it's lacking that. You talk to a character, it's just like 2 options, and it's like 2 different answers. You're basically pursuing what previously in Mass Effect was seen as the basic attitude. So it's called, what is it called? Renee and Paragon, I think it is, isn't it? So if you are Renee, then you're obviously very abrasive and angry and aggressive. If you are Paragon, then you are diplomatic and polite and attentive and fine. And that's the idea they're putting there to simplify, to streamline, but I feel that's just really not going to be working. We'll see, right? Other questions, and characters could come up with different tasks and many more situations, that unlockable characters, unlockable missions, and all of that. So that's something I really look forward to. It is looking good and positive, and we'll be combining it with Destiny and the Mass Effect. I think that I'm a great fan of space opera in video gaming. I think Starlink, I nearly forgot, Starlink is still available until the 22nd, so that's next Wednesday. Definitely play this game. I really didn't have enough time to do it, and I really wanted to. There's been no time. But I love the game. Probably I'll buy it once the price drops. And I really loved it. It really was a bit like a space opera, done with a twist, with a lot of activities, plenty of dialogue, many characters, great situations, lots of firefights, a very, very vast map, for you to explore. Great. I mean, absolutely terrific. And the game didn't receive that, as far as I remember, there wasn't that much exposure. Didn't get really many thumbs up overall, and Ubisoft didn't prioritize it, within the echelon of all other blockbusters that they have, and I think that is somewhat undeserved, and we need to be giving it some praise and maybe playing it and bringing people to it, because it is a true gem. What I particularly like is that if you're in a firefight, you'll get two characters popping up, a bit like having a Skype conversation, and they talk, and you can even kind of listen to them ask questions, and that's really good. I mean, some people might say it's interfering with the firefight, but I thought it was very innovative and worked really very, very well for me. But you know what's going to work very well for me is some action here in Gears. To summarize, what we did yesterday was we defeated the matriarch, and after that we've gone to the base. We were extracted. Bear with me a second, just need to get something. Right, we were extracted, we went back to the base, and now we were given some other tasks and are going to be picking up from where we left it off yesterday. Very, very exciting, and really, as you will see, gone to rocket plan. There is one thing I really like about the game. It's graphics. It's visually completely and utterly mouth-watering. It's incredible the way they've done it. Probably some of the best quality graphics that I've ever seen in a video game, and everything's blending in so perfectly. The characters are just literally part of that environment, and I really love it. Mind you, they're always good visually. Right from the start, when they started with Gears of War 1. Collision really excelled. I remember the original Ultimate Edition, and if you purchased it, you would also mark a statue. It was like a big one you can place on your desk, and handmade with a limited edition number attached to it. Only made about less than 2,000, and it was just really quite an exciting thing to see at the time. One of my friends was purchasing those on eBay, and he got the whole selection. It wasn't just Marcus Phoenix, he had also some other characters, had some cogs I think as well, so he's got a big selection of those on his desk, which is really remarkable. Right, here we are. Okay. I did something silly in here, Didn't change my weapon properly.
Kate, you got this.
What is going on?
Found you.
So where is he? Didn't see him though. Oh, he's up there. Okay. The thing is gone.
I owe you one. You dropped them all. There.
We've got them all, that's correct. What have I got there?
Paddock, Bear. Ran into some swarm, but we're back on track.
Also, Paddock, the cog that hammered you 50 years ago isn't us. We're not them.
Well, if you launch those satellites, you'll be doomed to make the same mistakes.
What is this knob even on about?
Looking for collectibles. I think generally if you consider collectibles here in Gears of War 5, they're slightly clumsy. They are obviously tied to the story, but some are really hard to find, other ones are probably visible, in other words, easily found, and I think that's a bit of an issue, because you really want everything to be blending in perfectly. But maybe they will blend in perfectly once we come to the end of the game. I'm not sure. I've not really gone through
Help me with this before Paddock starts talking again.
my first playthrough, so didn't realise she had this tattoo.
More of them.
How are we handling this one?
I don't have those grenades. See any frags in here, maybe? Or not? No, that's Mark, so it's not really my weapon of choice.
Okay, they're on to us.
About bloody time.
I'm knocked down. Get me up.
Why is he not helping?
I'm wounded.
No, this weapon's not particularly good, really.
Come on.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I could do with a could do with a sniper, but don't have it at the moment. Sniper in there.
I'm knocked down.
Knocked down again.
You're okay.
Ah, sniper got me. No, I need to get a sniper. I think without sniper, I'm just completely bare. Not going to be doing anything proper in here. Sadly,
More of them.
How are we handling?
do it. Okay, we'll see.
Okay, they're on to us.
About bloody time.
Curse.
I need help here.
Sniper.
On my way.
Pulse. I'm knocked down.
Oh no.
Okay, you got this.
I'm not sniper resistant.
Oh man, I'm hurt.
I need some help.
Ah, God. Sniper, yet again. Nope. Nope.
How are we handling this one?
Okay, they're on to us.
About bloody time. Out of my watch. Here's your way.
I need help here.
Too close to the snipers by the looks of them.
I'm knocked down. Pulse. I need help here.
Ah, sniper got me. The condition there is a lot better than the other one that I've taken.
How are we handling this one?
Okay, they're on to us.
About bloody time.
I need help here.
Is he gone? Sniper needs to be gone.
I need some help.
No. Nope. Holding their positions well. Ah, he got me. AI is really good in this game. Got to be said. I got him. And again I got hit. Come on, get up. Headshot. Aren't I lucky? Aren't I lucky? Boo boo. So where's the other one? You can't be there even for a split second because you get immediately. These snipers.
Guys, I'm in trouble. Wounded.
Come on, get up!
Nah. Well, I've gone. So where's he gone? Oh, there.
I need some help.
Where is he? That's pretty good. Amazing that I was able to do that though. Is that it?
That's the last one.
Oh yeah, we did, yeah.
Keep looking for those satellites.
Right, so what weapons do we have? Nasha, Markser. What's this? Ember. Okay, we need some ammunition. Everyone's in position, so that's good. No ammunition. Let me just quickly have a look if there is anything to collect. See, they're very busy and eager to crack on, but what does that say? Jack, translate. He doesn't. Surely he will have this ability sooner or later to translate. Let me see. 8 components. Okay. So that is hijack. Equip. Let's see. Hijack. Steam target. 8, 10. Support. It's all done. Revive. Okay, so that is what we want to be having. Yep, that's right. New components. Actually, I forgot to use these barrels because we were firing at the barrels, they would have exploded, so that definitely would have been useful. Okay, Mugsum's doing alright now. Better than the previous mission. I guess there is a weapon for every sort of activity.
By the door! More of Hey, hey, hey! It's me!
Any help here?
Right down!
Pulse. Okay, they're down. Again. Come on.
Oh no, that's not it, not it, not it.
That'll work.
Ember. Okay. Find the noise. It's the
Man, quite a fight.
You fought to launch self, but now you're. What gives?
Launch, you buy eventually. Must know.
No.
Any reason we're just standing around like a bunch of tossers?
Alright, so more action ahead, hopefully. Fighter bombing me.
Shut.
The door you want.
That door.
Rip it open.
We go.
Alright, they're coming.
Select attack. Oh.
Oh, good damn it! I got you. More incoming.
Oh, I see.
Damn, there's a lot of them.
You're good.
Guys, I'm in trouble. Frag out!
Ah, warded. Spread out. Don't punch up. I got the turret. I need some help ASAP. I see you. Hold on. Oh, thanks, lads. Down. I'm down.
was certainly full.
Hate that beast, look at him.
Got the door open.
That dreadful.
My dad might have been here.
Lascari, Artu. Lucky. We shot, we captured.
Can we turn him off?
Huh? Okay, looks like we are following the road.
Other side.
All of our chap Halo insignia.
Gotcha. Found the satellite.
Okay, we found.
Either side of the.
Let's get on that gantry. One at a
Good idea.
Bring the back, just like the last.
Is awesome, doing everything. Look at this. Come on.
Who should we hit first? Choice. All right, off we go then.
Beautifully designed. It's really. It's a proper adventure. Yeah.
Paddock's got some thoughts on.
Each wipe self.
That thing loaded nose cone.
This coin. So I'm just reminded of all the sci-fi comic I used to be reading in my youth. Very much like this. Colors and extraordinary environment, beasts, and there's all sorts. It's extraordinary, really. I'm part of that. I'm loving it, and there are so many games. I just want to say something before we carry on. Anyone who's on Xbox or PlayStation, always try to explore the games that the algorithm's recommending. So, for instance, let's say like Elder Scrolls, and like that, and it's hundreds, thousands offered. Always, you'll find some of the that otherwise pop up, and you'll be really. I mean, I was to discover some of the games from the 90s now accessible games, and really absolutely astonishing. Therefore, I really recommend everyone to explore whatever the algorithm is suggesting you might like. Discover gems and treasures, and also prices. Checking out on a regular basis, really, and make sure that you explore it most thoroughly. Let's see where we can go up. I'm curious. But then on the other hand, I want to see whether there's been nothing to collect anywhere on here. Hence the weapons, of course. The weapons we've been collecting. Bring the satellite down. Right. Well, I did see that ladder in there. So let me see. See, this looks like a collectible, but actually it isn't. And that's silly, because I did see quite a few of those pads lying about, and they would not be collected. Could have been some extra information. Nope. Nope.
Try this.
There, satellite's on the move.
Stay clear of that rail, people.
Hopefully, Hammer of Dawn's going to work out. Look at that. Satellite's free. How do we do that? Oh, that.
Sure.
Pounces! Oh, Gus. I got killed again. I was a bit slow. As usual. Some of the younger chaps are so fast, you know, I can't believe how fast certain people can play certain games. You get that twitch, you know, when you watch some G or Warzone gamers. To be so fast, faster than me. But there you go.
Our friend Paddock's got some interesting thoughts on the hammer.
He tried to launch it himself.
Okay, let's put it onto the nose cone. Let's try this.
Stay clear of that rail, people. Well, that's bollocks. It's stuck.
Maybe it just needs a nudge.
Alright, we need to really give it a push. But you know what, I want to see what weapons I've got, because this M bar is without any weapons, I mean without any ammunition. Hang on. Marks see if there are any weapons in here which I can utilize on. I could do with a Marksa is quite a good weapon. Okay. Pick up some more ammunition. Okay.
Okay. Maybe it needs more of a shove.
Pouncers!
Has left the platform.
And our sentinels go.
Then let's get the gantry over.
Right.
Get back entry. Now I've gone the wrong way. This is really pretty. Look at that. Amazing. Looking.
Hard to hit the other platform.
Positive, affirmative. Crack on. So what to do?
We gotta get over.
Brace yourselves. This might be a little rough.
It's a glitch because there was no instructions.
Swarm on the other platform. We're sitting ducks down here.
This is the opposite of higher?
I'm aware of that. Got it.
Just keep us moving.
Doing my best. Wiped out!
Scion!
Oh, he got away.
And we got a bastard too! Get us there now! Target that bastion!
Boz, you missed it!
I know, mate. It's like parallel parking a sailboat.
Wounded!
Kate, you and Del get off. I'll draw their fire from the gantry.
Oh,
Boss, they're clear. Take
we landed. Ah, no.
You're good!
Throwing fire!
Incoming frag!
Flame out!
Didn't do anything.
I'm down!
Just a second. That is not on.
I'm bleeding out!
I gotcha! Got another one!
Yeah.
Got him! Del, I'm going down! Cover me!
Ah, who's gonna be covering me now? Yeah, too late. Start from scratch by the looks of it.
Okay, let's go.
Brace yourselves. This might be a little rough.
Hey, what if Paddock launching these satellites?
Oh, swarm on the other platform! We're sitting ducks down here!
Boss, get us higher!
On it!
Pulse!
Oh,
This is the opposite of higher?
I'm aware of that. Got it. Got it.
Just keep us moving!
Doing my best.
Deafened, can't see or hear a thing.
Scion!
and we got a bastard too! the left. Hang on. Get us there now! Target that bastard!
Boss, you missed it!
I know, mate. It's like parallel parking a sailboat.
I need some help!
Hey, you and Del get on. I'll draw their fire from the gantry.
Locked down!
On my way!
Okay, Del, you've got drones coming in from the far side. Boss, they're clear. Take us away.
Here we go!
Okay, Del, let's clear this platform.
You got it!
Flame out! I'm wounded! I owe you one!
Weapon's not particularly good.
I'll take that!
Gone already.
It's dead!
Okay, that will do.
All right, big guy's down.
Oh, I got him. Amazing. Oh, missed him. Come on.
Took him out.
JD, that all of them?
Yeah, looks like it, yeah.
Then Foz, dock the gantry so we can connect the satellite.
Drop the gantry so that we can connect the satellite.
Let's get this done.
Looks like we are succeeding. Well, this was fierce and
They're on us! Take them out!
don't have anything to... No, I've got nothing. No weapons.
This'll work.
Squad's having some trouble, mate. Reboot it.
Got
One block down.
We're not out of this yet.
And stay down.
Well, that went swimmingly.
No comment.
Look for another switch, just like the other one.
Another switch is in there by the looks of it. Okay, I need to look at weaponry. Okay, hammer burst is not too bad. What else have I got? Hammer burst. Ember. Don't want ember.
Yeah, this'll work.
But I want, hang on. I want my sniper back.
Jack, pulse.
That sniper was so useful. Can't find it. So I've got a Talon, Hammer Burst, Ember. Okay.
There.
Watch your head. Here comes satellite number 2.
Satellite number 2. Okay.
That's it. All satellites.
Back onto the gantry. Let's get him to the hangar.
Not to burst any balls, but we're not getting anywhere till we open that big...
I'm up there. Head over.
You read my mind. All aboard!
Okay, let's get up.
Okay, so we're launching this satellite.
He's right at the hand. Leave me.
Not. Let's try this.
Guys, our ride's leaving.
God damn it. Opening that door must have triggered some automated sequence.
So we babysit it on foot then.
And I was just getting the hang of driving it.
Come on, up these stairs. We can't lose that nose cone. There. Let's keep up with it. Watch it. Below us.
Let's keep up with it. Oh, look at him there. Don't have anything, you know. Oh,
Friendly fire.
Got Got you.
Hey, friendly fire.
Took him out.
completely deaf now, blind and everything.
Frag out.
Finally, he's gone. Okay. Claw. Alright, seems to be sorted.
Target's down. They're done. Come on. Let's catch up to the satellites.
Yeah, Buskill was useful in here, but we didn't get early enough. Never mind. Let's see where we are. It's a pretty good picture
There.
as well.
We're escorting the satellites back to the hangar now.
Very pretty.
Still decrypting these old files, but we're making progress. Head out to your superiors soon enough.
All right. We're on our way.
Where do we go? Follow the rocket coin. That is sensible because it's that dark in here, can't see a thing. Good job of brightening up the video on the game because it was really quite dark for quite some time. In the very beginning it was like really impossible to see some of the collectibles and, well, possibly see anything really. I quite like that when you are there and then you have this. So just one click. It's really good. Don't use this much really, but still. So where are the collectibles? There's the one. After all, found one of those. The Major Speech translates to Tyron. This is Major Garan Paddock. General Edgar Tresco has died. This is a man who's brought victory and glory to these republics for decades. Been told his only wish as he lay dying was that we never bend to the cog. And so here we are, led here by one Yuri Dashchenko, a coward, a weakling, an intellectual man, an ineffectual man. He would have you believe that our only way forward is to submit to the jackals we've been fighting our entire lives. He would have had you follow the likes of Major Totti, the failure of Anvil Gate, a man deceived by the cog once before and who but has been deceived yet again. Victory is now closer than ever. But they would not have you know this, to tell you that the cause of all this is hopeless. Why? Because they are afraid of the cog jackals, but more important, they are afraid of you. You know that beating in the chest of every proud child of these republics is a strong heart and an iron will. Neither will be broken, not today and not tomorrow. Today, my friends, we will make our wills known. Alright, so let's see what is ahead. Bear with me, just a second. Need to get my eyes in order so I can see properly. I'll do it from a distance. So we pick this up. Anything else? There could well be. There could well be. Keep our eyes and ears wide open. The Brit is really pretty annoying from time to time in here. You know, like really bossy and pushy and...
Need some help.
Follow the rocket nose cone. Well, it looks like there's going to be some fighting ahead. Does it not?
Okay, satellites are safe and sound. If we want to get out of here, we should cross to the other side.
Get back across the hangar.
Guys, below us!
It's too far. Why can't I go anywhere?
Okay, they're down. Let's keep it moving, Delta.
Hammerburst is doing well in here. The other weapon wasn't performing too well, I have to admit. A bit disappointing. You know what? Cup of tea, cup of tea, cup of tea, cup of tea. Bear with me. This is what I want right now.
It's time to go, right? Definitely feels like it's time to go.
It is time to go. We do want to get back. But I'm getting some messages in Xbox. Let me see what it is. Oh, we got an achievement. Safe and sound. Well, that's good. I didn't realize I completed it. Didn't seem to show up here. I don't think. Well, I didn't see it.
We're all clear.
Okay, just so you know, whether we get the hammer working or not, I'm glad we came.
Yeah, but if we don't get the hammer working, whether you came or not won't matter. Just find a way back up.
We need to find our way back up, that's true. No, this is not giving us access. I thought perhaps we could get a few more of those lovely components, you know, to unlock Jack's skills. But
Incoming!
incoming!
Oi! What the hell is that?
It's a carrier! And it's not alone! Back up!
Spread out! Don't let it box us in!
Just keep firing! Check fire!
Doing anything very much.
Dead!
Oh, we got some grenades in there as well.
Frag out!
Come on, run!
Bloody hell. Does every carrier burst apart like that?
Yeah, pretty much. Our way out's above us. Let's get up there.
Let's get up there. Well, this was a deadly beast, my goodness. No. What's happened now? Lost my other weapon. Hammer burst. Well, Mark's was actually performing really well in here. Really good. Really happy with the results. Where is the... oh, there. Going the wrong way. Jack needs to open it, of course. Get the doors open, Jack.
Lift! This way! Everyone get on!
Oh, it's there. Okay. That's quite cool. Waiting for everyone to get on
Together would be so difficult.
before being activated.
Scientists, rocket scientists, and anyone who's used the expression, it's not rocket science.
What do you think? We just push a button marked launch?
Oh, I see. Yeah, pick on the handsome one, cut him down to size.
So, I'm back across. And for the record, I'm the handsome one, okay?
Paddock, we're almost out of here. Any leads on that rocket?
Yes, it's at a turntable in the east, beyond the Dune Sea. There's a rail bridge blocking the way, but don't worry. My people will raise it for you. So, out in the desert, find train tracks. Then you'll know you're on the right path.
Copy that. Alright, let's head for the skiff.
You know,
Skiff.
Oh dear God. Exit. I'm racing it, but it could have been also something for me to collect, but didn't see anything. I don't like it when people do this all the time. I get dizzy. I've seen people playing PUBG all the time, like left and right, but it's like really... But mind you, it is very laggy on Xbox compared to PC. You're looking left and right. That's correct. This is my team. Well, let us quickly explore this. Surely there'll be something for us to collect. Well, you guessed, I am a collector. I like collecting items, not just here in the game, but, you know,
Okay, we should go.
collecting games, DVDs, books, laser discs, film posters, lobby cards. But, you know, to be honest with you, the whole idea of collecting had changed quite drastically since we were able to access all of those materials online. For instance, I remember I used to collect film posters, a very large collection. And today, it is so easy to make your own film poster collection on Pinterest. You find all the posters in there, and like literally millions of those. And I guess it's different, but I don't have the drive to kind of look for Double Indemnity poster somewhere, you know? In the old days, you didn't even know what this poster looked like, because when you got it or you found it, it was like a revelation, your discovery.
And it's interesting. I think it will be interesting to see how the whole drive towards collections or collecting is going to be evolving.
Right then.
Within
Shall we skiff back out into the great wide open?
within the civilization, because previously we were always collecting in order to access knowledge and remember. So it's a bit different. Certainly now with gaming, I don't have the same drive that I will need to possess a certain number of physical products, because I can access them so easily online, and sometimes they're obviously better quality, they're remastered, you get sometimes digital books coming together with them, or soundtrack. Hard to tell, really. Hard to tell. But still, we like collecting certain things, you know, like Gears of War Ultimate Edition. Somebody's a real dedicated fan, that we want to have the physical copy, and then with the statue, and you know, these are some of the gems that you get for the process of purchasing such edition. I don't know, just literally throwing it out in the open, thinking what that might look like in due course, because I definitely see the difference with me. I guess the only thing that really still
A little confused. There's nothing for us to do here, right?
there is still one activity that is identical, I guess, in my life compared to the past, and that's collecting books. Because books are really the source of knowledge, and although we can access many of them online, still the vast quantity of books which are not accessible online makes it a necessity, you know. And you really want to have a particular book, even if you're I'll give an example, like Andrew Sarris's or Pauline Kael's books, you know, Sarris's The American Cinema. You can have it online digitally, but if you're looking for a particular fact,
Out into the great wide open.
or he's so annoying when I'm talking, I don't want anybody to be butting in. I find it easier to find certain information on the pages, you know. But I think in the future this will be simplified, because PDF likely to be scannable in terms of the words, and then you'll find immediately within a split second the section that is dedicated to a particular subject or particular name. And also what I quite like is that the latest
You still there? I got a question for you.
No, I'm on lunch break. Of course I'm still here.
Okay, what exactly stops you from launching the hammer?
The usual problems faced by 200 dedicated patriots trying to defeat 3,000 cowards.
You know, you could just have agreed to the armistice and spared a lot of lives.
A Groznian proverb for you. A just war is better than an unjust peace.
So, just exactly how many Goroznian proverbs justify war?
Most of them.
Yes, I was going to say that I quite like the new invention where you can have the dark mode, and I've switched on dark mode on all of my platforms, so I don't find really reading certain articles to be as hard on my eyes compared to the past, and that's of tremendous advantage. It really makes a big difference, because that blasting white, you know, from a backlit platform is really affecting your brain and keeping you awake and everything, so it's much better. Well, you know, goodness knows what future will bring. Who on earth would believe that the entire world would be living in a lockdown out of the blue without any warning? It's just unpredictable times ahead. I think about volcano eruptions, earthquakes, or flooding, and it's, you know, natural disasters which we cannot control or predict. Can't believe there was nothing to collect in that big hangar. Which is quite ridiculous. Up this way. No, nothing in there either. There we are.
Right, let's head out.
I think the hardcore fans of the original Gears would say this is like flat, walk into an area with no enemies. But I would kind of disagree. I think it makes it really more even.
Children, one more thing. The bridge controls one network, so the base commander's virus didn't affect them. But the bridge itself hasn't been lifted in decades.
What are you saying? You worried about your people not being able to raise it?
No, they'll handle it. But that bridge, it's old and rusty and... just when you're beneath it, don't linger.
Copy that. All right, you heard him. Let's head for the bridge.
So, this Paddock, how does Barrett even know him?
Apparently, Paddock served in the COG for a while.
That guy was COG. When?
Unclear. They didn't seem that eager to talk about it either.
Oh, there's Don Shot. I really like my snipers, as you realized. Probably, if you watch my broadcasts. You know, I've not played Warzone now for a couple of weeks. Wow, it's so many games out there to play, honestly. It's so hard to decide what to do first. Because I was just going to say, we'll have a lengthy Destiny period coming up from the weekend. Because on Tuesday they'll introduce the Guardian Conquest, a contest I should say, and then I'll need to open up 2 of my other characters, because on Destiny 2 I don't have either Titan or Hunter, so there'll be plenty of scope for exploration activities. And I also want to play Warzone. They've introduced 4-man team mode and co-op and solo, and it's really, you know. But I guess with Warzone we can always throw it in for an hour or two, a few matches. But then Warzone does have this addictive component where you really want to be doing better in the next match, and I always recommend people playing Battle Royale to be doing it with permanent teams. Steady crews are always performing better, and you experience the game from a different viewpoint. Doing it with randoms is a mixed bag and could really pin you down for quite a few unnecessary hours. Okay, so let's see. We need to go to
over to that turntable.
over to the turntable. Just a second. Where do we need to go? No, this is the water tower. We don't need to do that, I don't think. Train bridge. Yeah, that's it. Train bridge. Okay. Well, I'll be ending my broadcast around 5 o'clock because, as you know, I will be watching the daily press conference.
Boz, as a Vasgari, are you feeling any, I don't know, connection to this place? Nah. To be honest, I'm glad my parents came to their senses and left. I mean, growing up round here, in the desert, shaking sand wash from your shoes? Nah, I'm good, mate. You know this always wasn't a desert, right? Most of this used to be seashore. Long before I was born, mate. There's the bridge. I hope Paddock's nomads can raise it. There it goes. Well, they haven't dropped it yet. That's good, right? And we're
So
through.
where do we go from?
Onto the turntable.
Turntable. You see they've got the radar app in here beautifully. I struggle with it in Elden in here. They really made it very easy to use because you always know exactly where to go, and a lot smoother than otherwise. Cool. Once you learn how to, it's good fun traveling.
A wind flare now?
On the bright side, we get to see how those sand formations are made. Not really a bright side, though.
Well, good job we are able to get through though. Still so far. And we are dead. So looks like that firestorm is going to be haunting us as we progress. That's no fun. That is no fun. Continue.
And we're through. Onto the turntable.
Train turntable. Choose a different route, eh? If at all any better. Seriously, did I?
A wind flare now? Seriously?
On the bright side, we get to see how those sand formations are made. Not really a bright side, though.
I'm going the wrong way. Don't even know where we are. Hang on. Go through there. What, 4 kilometers away? That's not very good, is it?
You guys seeing this artillery battery? Might be worth a stop.
So where are we? New location for an artillery battery. Yep. Here. So what are we to do in here?
Why are we stopping? Turntable isn't much farther.
We'll get to it. Just want to check this out first.
You see, that's pretty good because as you're traveling, you're discovering all these locations, and that's pretty good. I like it.
Heads up, Delta. Juvie pods.
Hey, hey, that one's still fresh. And there's someone in there. Oi, live one.
Pesna, ama alien hazır odisi. Zapadini nun.
Sir, slow down. What the hell's he saying?
Zapadini nun. Zapadini nun.
Oh, there must be more pods inside. Oh, I don't think they want him going in there.
Spread out! Spread out!
Why do you have to go and piss him off? He's looking for his friends, man. They're probably all party. Why is that?
Because it's our problem now!
That's it! I'm gonna get this on my brother's sorry word! Snatcher! There you go, Bob.
Get up, Jacob.
This isn't good.
Everyone's dead.
Right side!
Completely out of ammunition. Looks like he's just about to die.
Alright, we're clear. Man, that was one angry Lassie.
Let's move. He's clearly desperate.
More pods. Start popping them.
Yeah, and hurry. Sure, yeah. You're welcome. Go see your friends.
Before we head out, let's give this area one last sweep.
Oh, there it is. Emergency loyalist radiogram. UI control Vasgar to Ferlin's 4th Infantry Battery. RV Borasco is hostile en route to your POS on an insurgent force. Orders terminate vessel BT authorized by Major Tolly Nin. Okay, so that's good. Let's see, what else did we find in there? Oh, this is it. Ah, that's just the last one. That's ridiculous, really. Very annoying. You would have noticed we've not picked up any components already for a little while. And I should have said it earlier because now there is one to collect. There's probably 5. Is this 5? 3. 3 rather than 5. Search for radio tech. See, there is something in there.
What's this?
URR LC circuit board. This part is used for automatic gain
Just found
control.
something. Looks like old UIR radio tech. You want it?
No, you want it. Find 2 more and you'll be able to boost Jack's hijack ability. Would have done it myself, but, you know, we were a little short on time.
Oh, alright. We'll keep an eye out.
We're done here. We should get back on track.
Yeah. Delta, back to the skiff.
No, it's not complete. It says 1 out of 3. So there should be other components in there to collect. No, that's not it. Can't be. Well, it can be, because I just remembered there is another
We're leaving the
structure.
artillery battery, where we pulled some of your people out of pods. Don't worry, they're okay.
One of my scavenger crews. 2 others are still missing.
If we spot them, we'll do what we can to help.
I would be grateful.
Loads of ammunition in here, which is good, of course. But I'm a bit curious about the location, because it said 1 out of 3. Can't see it here. To see what these components are likely to be. What's this? Underneath. Look at this, it's a glitch. It's a bit silly. No, there's not actually a way through, or there isn't anything in here by the looks of it. Well, quite frankly, we can back to our skiff and with our adventure. But we are going to be ending the broadcast shortly because I'll watch the press conference at 5. Need to see what new discoveries had and anything else. Right, so what else do we have in there? What's this? Train bridge. Scavengers. Oh, there should be 3 locations in there, probably with scavengers, so that's what it is. Abandoned airport, the tunnel, artillery battery. Now this is the bridge. What's this? Okay.
Wait. Why are we stopping? Aren't we supposed to go under the bridge?
Yeah, in a minute. Just looking around for anything useful.
That's correct. Scavengers, that's cool. They seem to be alright though. They are not in the spots.
Snus! Opore marteri! Zizi nedak radi!
Well, I'd say we're done here. Come on, Delta. Get back to the skiff.
Joti snus tak stradidni. Topon tota. Odoski momo e on toslos. Upi e on toslos. Odos espinaten. Azer tipo pi. Afori ore on toslos odot. Tedunun. Kogeki. Mirin.
No. So these ones were not under any form of attack. Fair enough. Can't really go up there. Back to skiff. I really like the picture. It's really quite awesome. Nice. Skiff and the bridge. Alright.
Let's get to that rocket turntable.
Scavengers. Where else could it be? Let's see. Water tower. Abandoned airport. Okay. In there. Rocket hangar. What's this? No, that's the artillery thingy. No, that's train bridge. No. It's really quite far. Alright, so I think what we'll do is we are going to be calling it a day for now. Back with more gears of our gears later today. So thanks very much everyone for watching, for being here with us today. Hope you enjoyed the activity. We have been enjoying Gears 5 World today and during the last week, I think, roughly. Really loved all the adventures that we had experienced so far. There was really plenty of good storytelling, a lot of action, some difficult bosses, everything that you really want from a game of this magnitude. And what we did not do was a co-op, so I think I'll speak to some of my community members whether they also have the game, particularly on if they are subscribers to the Ultimate and they have Xbox Game Pass, to join me sometime. But maybe not for the first run, maybe on a second run, you know, we'll see. There we are, back to Kate. Alright, so thanks very much for watching. Thanks for being here with us today. Hope you enjoyed the activity and our Gears 5 adventures. And yet again, I urge you to stay at home, stay indoors in order to protect lives, to help the NHS, and in order to fight the virus. Remember that. Stay indoors, help NHS, and save lives. So hashtag Stay at Home UK, hashtag Stay Indoors UK, hashtag Be a Hero. You are a hero if you're staying indoors because you're helping us all to fight the virus, and you are protecting lives and you're protecting the NHS. Also, you're a hero if you're joining us here with our online activities, and then you become Kate or Max Phoenix or Jill Valentine or Master Chief or any of our heroes who are here in this wonderful video gaming world. So remember that. Be a hero on both levels, within the video game and out there in your community, by saving lives and protecting the NHS by staying at home. So until later on, I shall wish you all a very, very good afternoon.